Welcome back, and in this video we're going to be going over Ferssi. Who is on this weekend's banner. He is a healer, and when he came out, was not looked at as super great, but solid. He does have inspiration, but it is nowhere near to the level of Dolores, and it doesn't last as long. It is 10 seconds, so it's a good little damage boost. It's a bonus. He does heal, attack-based healing to one ally in range. Now, the thing is that makes him good is this right here. Whenever an ally within range receives AoE damage, their healing multiplier, or healing, is increased by 10% for 10 seconds. That can be triggered one time every 40 seconds. This is okay, but this, the Sand Aegis, applies AoE damage reduction to allies in range. So he does up to, that's 10, 20, 25% damage or AoE damage reduction. Now, that is huge damage reduction. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any better. It would be really cool if that got better with Awakenings. His Awakenings aren't bad, but the biggest thing is just having a copy of him. And the place that he's used more so than anywhere else is Guild Boss 2. And I even used him in my Guild Boss 2 run. Right here. I have him A1. He was not my greatest healer. In fact, he underperformed compared to the rest of the healers. However, he did give me that damage reduction so that these guys didn't have to work nearly as hard. I believe these two are both AoE healers. I believe they heal multi-target, whereas Ferssi only heals one. So he did have a little bit of a, they had a little bit of a advantage over him. He had a disadvantage. But he also does have the vortex range when you level him up. Now, the other two that were in there do not. What that means is because he could cover everybody in that range, it allows him to wear the Euphoric Orb that I have, which does then apply to everybody in that range. So that is helpful. That makes it so that they get an attack speed boost, every 60 seconds, lasting for 40 seconds. So there's only 20 seconds, I believe, that they don't have that attack speed increase. That's a ton of extra just damage. I mean, it's only 30 attack speed, but that can be a difference. That can be a make or break. So if you got Ferssi, definitely build him. And the biggest thing you want with him is you want that skill leveled up, which is this right here. This is the biggest thing to have him leveled up. His ultimate, yes, it's good, and it does do like an instant heal to all allies in range, so it's a good emergency heal. If you do get him and the skill crystals go into this and this, count that as a win. If you max this out, definitely just decide on your own if you want to max out his ultimate, because it is handy, but it's not necessary. I'm rarely waiting on his ult to be ready in times of need, and the rest of his attacks are just increasing his healing efforts. You should always run him with an extra healer, and the Sand Aegis is the biggest thing. Now, I put him in inspiration or invigoration. That way he can give somebody else a invigoration buff in range. You build him like a regular healer. Attack speed, attack based healer, that is. Attack speed, attack, rage regen if you want him ulting more often, which his AoE heal is on his ult, so it's not a bad idea to have him ulting often. But apart from that, just survivability for where you need him and just build him fast. He is a excellent healer and just makes Guild Boss 2 so much more survivable. Makes it much easier to build the stats, to take the hits. I could see him getting some use in Gear Dungeon 2 for damage reduction from like the Banshees. I don't know if you could outsurvive the Banshee screeching. I'm sure you could with him. Gear Raid 2, I could see you outsurviving the Golem slams with that. Gear Raid 1, he doesn't really have a use for. Gear Raid 1's pretty much a DPS check. You're not generally going for survivability on Gear Raid 1. Gear Raid 3, I mean, he could take a place of a healer, but there's no benefit from using him there. Gear Dungeon 1, you really want Hollow for the rage regen, so I don't really see a use for him. He could go on the platform in AMR 18, but not really worth giving up the slot. I mean, the main place you're using him is, you could use him in the Healer Codex, which will be coming up tomorrow, it seems. And you could use him in Guild Boss 2. Those are the two main places to use him, and if you're pushing those two places, definitely he's worthwhile to go for. Would I recommend summoning for him on this banner? Probably not, just because there was just a Hex Ferssi banner, and that Hex Ferssi banner, that's where you should have been pulling for him, because Hex is just a much better unit than both of these guys, and you had a bigger chance to get him. If you want to see some use case of Ferssi, let me know, and next week I will record my Guild Boss 2 run and see if I can push a higher number. I'm currently sitting at my highest score, which is 68,746. I'm pretty happy with this run. Shock seems to be catching up with me, which is cool. I know he was lagging behind for a little bit. Actually, he beat my last top score before I got this one. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, next week I could record my Guild Boss 2 run and show that if you want to see Ferssi in action. But apart from that, that pretty much does it for this video. There's not much to talk about with Ferssi. He's a healer, and a pretty decent one at that. He's great for protection on AoE damage. I'm sure there'll be some events that he's good in too. But yeah, if this helped you at all, definitely feel free to like it, and I will see you guys in the next one.